Welcome back, everyone, to your regularly scheduled episode of the Picture Show podcast. I'm Noah. This is my co-host Bryn over here, and
Hello.
we're here to wrap up last year's Oscars, I suppose, and give our top tens for last year. April is the perfect time to do last year's top tens, I think.
This is the time everybody does this. Yeah?
Yeah, I think this is perfect. We've had enough time to see all the holdovers from last year, and we're good to go.
God, speaking of, what a good movie. That has
Ugh.
become a part of my regular Christmas movie rotation now.
Shout out to the holdovers. Shout out Paul Giamatti.
What a good time. Anyway, that was 2 years ago. Let's talk about what happened in 2025. More importantly, what happened at the Oscars this year.
Let's start with the supporting acting categories. I think we had a couple of fun wins here.
Yeah, definitely a little bit left field on this one. Not anything I'm mad about, but certainly some interesting picks, I think.
Let's start with supporting actress. This was a hard category to predict heading into it. I didn't really know if they were going to go with Wunmi Masaku from Sinners. Yeah, I thought Teyana Taylor stood a really good chance for One Battle After Another, especially with how well it ended up doing the rest of the night. And shout out to the sentimental value ladies. Thank you for being there. But in the end, it was Amy Madigan for Weapons.
Which, at the end of the day, should not have been surprised about. I mean, what a performance.
Yeah, she really ends up kind of owning the movie. Which heading into the movie, she wasn't really a part of the marketing or anything, so it was really surprising, like, coming out of that movie, and she's, at least for me, she was what I left thinking about, and mostly what I think about when I return to Weapons.
Yeah, I mean, and props to Weapons as a whole. Their marketing was so bare bones, not in the amount that you saw it, but in the amount that they kept to themselves. There was not a whole lot to give away going into that movie. That was so refreshing to me because my biggest pet peeve is watching a trailer and seeing the whole movie in the span of 2 minutes. And so just the absolute minimum knowledge that I had going into Weapons was so fun for me because every turn was a surprise, and Amy Madigan's whole character is completely omitted from the trailer, from the marketing, from any of it. And she just, like you said, she ends up stealing the show. And just what a treat. What a role.
Yeah, I think ultimately that's probably why she won, is, she's barely in the movie, and then she makes the most impact out of anyone. She's giving you crazy minutes off the bench in this one. And it's wonderful. She's, the look is instantly iconic. She was a Halloween costume. Aunt Gladys or Aunt Phyllis, whatever her name was. I always call her the wrong name. But it was a great role. Amy Madigan, coming back after getting a nomination 40 years ago and actually winning the thing for a horror movie. Really, really fun win. No complaints.
Which is something I want to get into here is, and I've touched on this before, but the comeback for horror has been so heartwarming for me. And seeing just how well horror did as a category at the Oscars, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
I have to agree. Anything else you want to say about Amy Madigan and her win for the Oscar?
No.
No? Then let's move on to Best Supporting Actor. We had Sean Penn as Captain Colonel J. Lockhart in One Battle After Another. I've just realized this. Both of the wins here are for really good villains.
Yes. Amy Madigan's villain I couldn't get enough of. Sean Penn's villain made me want to crawl out of my skin, and I can't tell which is better. I mean, I guess out of a villain you want the gross nasty, but at the same time, I love Sean Penn. I wanted to run him over with a truck.
Yeah, he's pretty memorable for just how disgusting and evil he is in this movie. This is
Great
probably,
performance. But
Yeah, this is probably my favorite Sean Penn performance, if I'm thinking about it. He's won 2 Oscars before this, for Mystic River and Milk. I'm not sure if I agree with those previous wins. Out of everyone in the category, I was really excited. I thought that Sean Penn deserved this win. I thought just the creation of this character, so vile but so complex and lived in and compelling, was just really really fascinating. I think it's an extremely good win for best supporting actor here. Do you want to shout out any of the other nominees for best supporting actor? What do you think about the win? Would you have given it to anyone else? Because I would have voted for Sean.
yes and no. So here's my thing.
Let's
And
get into it.
We'll get into it more once we get further into the categories. One Battle After Another was very well done. I don't want to take anything away from that. It was not my favorite. And we can fight about that if you want to. I see the rage behind your eyes. I get it. I understand.
We'll get into it.
It just was not my favorite. It didn't do enough for me. It was good. I enjoyed it. I think it's still in my top 10 movies of the year. I'll put it there.
Fair.
It was good. I did not quite understand the hype with it.
That's okay.
Outside of, could not have been better timing to release that movie. What a poignant narrative to put out into the world right about now. 10 out of 10 in that regard. It just didn't do enough for me. So like that's the thing, is that like I can't be mad about any of the categories that it did win. That's about where I have to leave that.
Okay. So who would you have voted for in this category? My second choice is Benicio from One Battle After Another. Let's see. It was Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value. It was Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein. It was the One Battle Boys, and it was one other person.
Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo. First time Oscar nominee Delroy Lindo. How could I forget?
Yeah. Which, also a good performance.
Delta Slim?
So here, okay, another one that we might fight on. Frankenstein. I loved Frankenstein with every fiber of my little heart. And I love Jacob Elordi. I have a hard time pitting him against Sean Penn. Soft spot in my heart. I enjoyed the movie more.
I think the difficulty of the character that Sean Penn plays, I think it's a more fraught and complex role than Frankenstein is. I think Jacob Elordi did a great job. It's a unique and new Frankenstein, but I don't know.
See, and that's the thing, is they are so different. I think that you are correct in that as far as the job goes, Sean Penn had a much more complex performance to tackle. I mean, Jacob Elordi,
He's good.
Frankenstein's monster is kind of, I don't want to say cut and dry, because he still did, I don't want to take away from his performance, he still did a lot with that character that has not been done before. And I want to give all the credit there, but it's pretty cut and dry as far as the type of monster he's portraying in this role, whereas Sean Penn had a whole different beast to tackle with that character. So it's
You just didn't like the movie, and that's fair.
Don't say that. I liked the movie.
Fair. That's not. I need to give you credit. I need to give you credit.
Back off.
So would Jacob Elordi be your choice?
I don't know. That one's tough for me. I did really like Delroy Lindo too.
You gotta pick.
I did not see Sentimental Value, so I don't know that I can give an opinion there, but I'll stick with Sean Penn. That's a fun choice.
I talked you into it. I said who I would have
You got
voted
a lot
for
more
supporting
talking
actress.
to do.
I said who I would have voted for supporting actress. I don't think I asked you. Would you have voted for Amy Madigan or someone else?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Amy. Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No question.
All right. Should we go to the lead acting categories? Who should we start with?
We can go the same route. We can start with actress.
Yeah, get this one out of the
In
way.
full transparency, I also have only seen part of Hamnet.
Okay, in full transparency, you're not missing much.
Yeah.
I did not love Hamnet. I do think that Jessie Buckley is an extraordinarily gifted actress. I think she's one of the best of her generation. It's awesome that she has an Oscar. This movie wasn't really it for me. But also, it just wasn't a super competitive category this year. Kate Hudson is nominated in this category for a movie called Song Sung Blue, which is the cheesiest movie of the year. Just absolute schmaltz, very cutesy, gave me cavities, just awful. Just awful. You know, it's better than that. Congrats to Jessie Buckley. I think I would have gone for Rose Byrne here in If I Had Legs I'd Kick You. That's a really tasking performance in a really unpleasant film, but I think that this is a fine, completely unmemorable Best Actress win.
Which is unfortunate. I mean, 2025 to me had so much promise at the beginning of the year for movies, and I just feel like we skidded across the finish line for movies.
I can agree with that. There was a lot of mid this year that I had high hopes for.
Just so much of it felt cheap, and I don't want to be a pessimist. I don't want to say that that's where we are going with movies, because I think that there have been plenty that have proved us wrong as of recent. But there was a high number of, like, Temu level shit put out this year, and it just was upsetting.
Yeah, I have to agree. There was a lot of times I went to the theater this year expecting to really enjoy something, and leaving feeling a little disappointed that, feeling like something could have gone an extra couple steps or something. And Hamnet was a big one for me. A super, super big disappointment. And also, sentimental value for me as well. I was really looking forward to and did come away a little disappointed with.
That's unfortunate. What were your thoughts on Begonia? Because Emma Stone was also nominated.
I liked it. It's sad that she kind of had no shot for this movie because she's won recently. And yeah, I would say I really liked it. I would say I liked it quite a bit. I would not say I loved it, but I would say I liked it quite a bit. Well, we kind of lost our train of thought there, but we'll pick it up here. Is there anyone else that you would have voted for in Best Actress besides Jessie Buckley?
No, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It just was kind of a sad round of nominations this year. I mean, like you said, like, Emma Stone, great, as always, but she has won recently, and it is time for somebody else.
I want to touch on something, because I feel like if we don't do it here, we probably won't get to it in the episode. Kind of insane that Wicked 1 had like 10, 11 nominations, and Wicked 2, nothing at all. No Cynthia Erivo, no Ariana Grande, not a costume, not production design. They hated it. Kind of crazy.
Kind of justified.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It was interesting. I remember when we talked about it at first, you liked it more than the first one. Have we changed?
No.
Fair enough.
I liked it more than the first one.
The first one's just still that track. Okay, fair.
The first,
okay,
like I was being as nice as I possibly could when we talked about the first one, because it was so loved. But the farther I get from it, the worse it sits with me. And now I see, stills from it, or, shit comes up from, and it's, how were we all so just okay with leaving that as it was? Like, they really said,
I have to agree. I couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely. Yeah. What a travesty. Really funny that it gets goose-egged here.
The second one even fixed a lot of the, like, basically the production design that the first one fucked up. Like, the color was a little bit more balanced, and the lighting was not as god-awful, and I would even argue that the script wasn't as bad.
Bold.
But holy shit, it was still bad.
Yeah, quite a train wreck,
was
but
not
I just
good.
thought that was really funny. I wanted to bring that up really quick so we could shit on it really fast. All right, well, moving on. I think this was one of the biggest surprises of the night. Best Actor. I think going into this, there was one outcome that I think a lot of people expected, and we had a little something else happen. So, Bryn, what are your thoughts on what happened here with Best Actor this year?
So, I'm sure I know what you were expecting and hoping for.
Oh, what I was hoping would not happen.
Or what you were hoping would happen, I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I am not upset that Michael B. Jordan won. I thought Sinners was great. I think it was a little overhyped, but I thought it was great. I thought it was beautifully done. I thought, it looked pretty. It was a fun time. It was chaotic in a good way. I had a great time with Sinners. I'm not mad that Michael B. Jordan won. I am a little surprised though, and I think a lot of people were, that Leo got knocked off for this one.
I would have loved for Leo to win. I think that it's maybe his funniest performance ever. And I think we just take for granted how good he is so effortlessly. Like, every line delivery is just a little nugget of gold from him in this movie. And I think we just take it for granted. We take it for granted.
Because it's
Maybe
him.
similar to... Yeah, exactly. Maybe now similar to Emma Stone. She doesn't even really have a chance for Begonia because we just take it for granted that she's always going to be this good.
It's what happens when you don't give a bad performance. People are just like, oh no, this is actually just what you do. But hey, look, this guy finally didn't do something shitty or stupid.
Yeah.
Let's recognize him.
I agree. So I
That
definitely would have loved...
That was not a commentary on Michael B.
No,
Jordan,
no.
by the way. I'm just saying, generally speaking.
I get you.
Big love, Michael B. Jordan.
So yeah, I would have liked to have seen Leo take it. He wouldn't have been my vote, to be honest with you. But the way that I thought that this category was going to go was I thought that Timothée Chalamet had a really strong chance to walk away with this win, and I was praying on the downfall from day one, and by God, watching him trip up at the finish line, really wonderful for my hater agenda. I do have to say, credit where it's due. Marty Supreme is his best performance, and it's a decent movie. A lot of the issues that I've always had with him are still present in this movie, but there is a lot that is compelling. In my opinion, I think the movie around him is better. I think the script and the direction are extraordinarily compelling. I think he was lucky to be employed by Josh Safdie with the script geared toward him. But he just... I don't get anything from the voice. I don't get 1950s New York. I don't get... Why does Marty sound like Wonka, who sounds like Paul Atreides, who sounds like Bob Dylan? Like, why is there no differentiation here? That being said, I think he's extraordinarily popular. The industry loves him. I thought for sure this was a slam dunk for him. So I was extremely surprised that Michael B. Jordan pulled this one off.
You want to know why it doesn't surprise me that Timothée Chalamet did not win?
Because we're sick of him. We're all overexposed.
Also that, everything you just described was what everyone else did to make that movie wonderful.
Yeah.
It's his best performance. That doesn't mean it's good.
That's fair. That's fair.
The
and
rest
it's
of the movie
interesting.
around him, including the script, lipstick on a pig. I'm sorry. You can't... If you write a good enough script, anybody's gonna give a good performance. Come on.
Yeah. I think he has some things he's really good at. I don't see, I don't think he's as good as like an Austin Butler or someone, but I don't know.
Talking about absorbing characters.
I thought that Marty Supreme was good. I thought he had a great
chance
to win.
I'm sure it was, but was it him that made it good?
Who knows? But I still think they were really close to giving him the award for it. I mean, the Oscar, especially for Best Actor in recent years, it's kind of more of like a symbolic thing. Like here, we're sorry about not giving it to you earlier in your career. Hey, they're setting Chalamet up. They're setting Chalamet up. But, I'm really, really happy that we gave Michael B. Jordan his flowers.
Yes. But when the most prestigious acting award has to be a placation to somebody for not recognizing them for a role that was maybe actually good.
It never leads to anything good because I think about how they never gave it to Al Pacino, and then in 1992, I think they give it to him for Scent of a Woman, which is just a pretty much nothing film that he's good in. But then that takes away an Oscar from a Denzel Washington and Malcolm X. There's great injustices littered throughout history, but whatever. I do not think that Timothy losing this is a great Oscars injustice. I'm gonna be fully transparent here. I don't think Michael B. Jordan was the right choice. I just didn't think it was like that great. I mean, everyone likes to point to the twin aspect, which is cool and great, but also like we didn't give Lindsay Lohan an Oscar.
The twins were actually the same character, though. I think it would be different if they were vastly different characters.
Yeah, I would have. I agree. I would have liked more differentiation. Like it's not enough that they have to wear like different colored hats. And one. Okay,
Even
here's
then,
one thing. Here's one
I
thing.
had a hard time trying to remember which one was which.
I liked that one had like the Italian mafia suit and the other had like the Irish mafia getup. But as with a lot of things in Sinners, I think they could have just gone further with it. That's a lot of my biggest criticisms with Sinners just comes to I think they could have gone a little further with various elements. So shout out Michael B. Jordan. Okay, really quick, the other nominees. We had Michael B. Jordan, we had Timothée Chalamet, we had Leonardo DiCaprio, we had Ethan Hawke, and we had Wagner Moura. And my pick here actually would have been Wagner Moura in The Secret Agent, which was a movie I really, really loved. And I thought that he just does something really fantastic that's also like surprisingly understated. So I just would have gone for that performance, which has haunted me a little more than other performances this year. I thought Wagner Moura was just superb in The Secret Agent. But shout out to everyone, because this is one of the strongest Best Actor categories we've had in years and years and years.
Yeah, I myself have not seen The Secret Agent, but Cal watched it and Cal said that it was phenomenal. So
Cal is right.
I do want to watch that one. I would fully believe you that would be a deserving performance for sure. I would like to touch on very quickly, if we're going to reduce the Best Actor category down to trying to appease previous actors for roles that we've just sniped them on, I would like to give a sliver of credit to the fact that what I was touching on earlier, what this Oscars season did for horror. If nothing else, I appreciate the fact that Michael B. Jordan won
for a horror movie. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And it's not I'm just happy that horror won no matter what. But I do think that it is important if we're going to, because I will always have the discussion around horror not being represented at award shows enough. I think that it is an important stepping stone to get us back to a point where it can be a part of an actual discussion from an art perspective. Horror belongs at award shows. It absolutely does, as long as it's well done. Yada, yada, yada. But I do think that it's important if we're going to kind of shit on Best Actor for a little bit, I think it is important to talk about what it is doing to propel horror as a category back into award shows.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This was a crazy year for horror at the Oscars between Amy Madigan and the success for Sinners, which, now the most nominated film in Oscars history and picked up 3 or 4. So horror big up this year.
Yeah. Good times. Anyway, we can move on.
All right. So director, we had run down the nominees really quick. You had Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. You had Josh Safdie for Uncut Gems. You had Joaquin Trier for Sentimental Value. You had Ryan Coogler for Sinners. And you had Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. And I think all season long, there was really only two people contending for this one, and it was Ryan Coogler for Sinners and Paul Thomas Anderson. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we have Paul Thomas Anderson, who before that Oscar night had never won an Oscar, coming away with Best Director. I know you weren't huge on the film. How do you feel about this win for director?
Absolutely what I would have chosen. That had to have been a feat to direct. Not that it was an overly complicated movie, but just from a standpoint of flow. I mean, it was very much like all of the cogs in the machine were working with each other. There was not a point of that movie that lagged.
In a film that's almost 3 hours long.
Absolutely. It cooked right along. And I can't imagine what a project that was to take on, and he knocked it out of the park. I mean, he did a wonderful job with that.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think this was the absolute right person to take this home. Some of my problems with these various other movies nominated stems directly from their direction, so I'm happy that one of our modern masters, finally has an Oscar for Best Director that he's deserved for years and years and years. I think that this is a great film for him to pick it up for. And that's one thing, we see sometimes that they give these beloved figures their makeup Oscars. And I have to say that these One Battle After Another wins do not seem like oops, we're sorry for not recognizing Phantom Thread and There Will Be Blood. I think that this just is another classic in his filmography.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm really happy that things just lined up for him to get recognized for it this year. I don't even think it's in his top 5 best movies though, and it's this great.
And it's not even, honestly, I don't have anything against specifically. I don't have anything against the direction of the other nominees, but they're not at the same level as far as direction goes.
I agree. I think that One Battle After Another, what Paul Thomas Anderson did with that, he's a maestro. He's one of our best. He's his generation's Martin Scorsese. I think he's one of our great national treasures. He's a partner of Maya Rudolph, perhaps most importantly. So, shout out Paul Thomas Anderson, now Oscar winner. A great Best Director win. And it's no secret that he also won Best Picture for One Battle After Another. I'm not going to run through all the nominees because there's 10, and shout out to the 2 I didn't see and probably won't. But I don't know. What do you feel about this? Would you have voted for something else in Best Picture?
No.
Not even Frankenstein?
No.
Ooh, okay.
Because, and I know this recording didn't make it out, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Frankenstein was the perfect movie. We had a discussion about how Frankenstein got Netflixed. Like, it just
Pretty bad.
It got the Netflix sheen. I'm not gonna sit here and try to fight my way out of that one. I loved Frankenstein with my whole heart. Again, I don't think that it was at the production level. I don't think that it was quite at the skill level that One Battle was. One Battle wasn't even my favorite movie of the year. I can't look you in the eye and tell you a single other one of the nominated movies on that list came close to earning Best Picture.
I agree. Dare I say, this might be a topic for a whole other thing, but this might be the best picture winner of the decade so far. I think it's better than Oppenheimer. I think it's better than Anora. I think it's better than others.
I don't have the memory for Best Picture winners that you do, but I'd have to put up a list and compare. I mean, that's a bold claim. It's a bold claim. I would be interested to investigate it. I don't know.
I just think it's such a fascinating movie. It's so detailed. The characters are so rich. It's very timely with what it has to say about like community action and how important that is, and about passing on the good fight to the next generation, even if we might fuck it up, like trying to empower the next generation to be even better. Just nice, easy breezy, wonderful stuff. Great Best Picture winner. Lovely night at the Oscars for Noah. Any win for Paul Thomas Anderson was a win for Noah that night. Any other Oscar wins you want to shout out? K-pop Demon Hunters picked up one. Cinematography was a bit of a surprise. Anything you want to shout out?
I don't know that there's anything specific. I'm not surprised that K-pop Demon Hunters got something. I mean, people are
Two.
still obsessed, which it was good. I had fun with it. It got old a little fast for me, but you know, what can you do? I don't know.
What can you do? What can you do?
Overall, like I'm not mad at the list, but I am also not blown away by anything that happened.
Yeah. Fair enough, fair enough. I think if I could have changed just one outcome, I would have given Secret Agent foreign language film over sentimental value. Other than that, things were pretty decent. But I think with that being said, I think we should get into our top 10s of 2025. Much better than any Oscar. Much more prestigious. Bryn, what was your number 10 movie of 2025?
You're gonna be so disappointed in me. I don't even know that I have a full top 10 list. That's how bummed out I am by 2025. It
That's okay.
just was
Tell me
flat.
what number you have and I'll rattle off.
Give me 10 to 5.
All right, my 10 to 5 and then we'll trade off top 5s.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. You only got 5? You don't want to do a 7? Okay.
You'll find I am
me-
rather disappointed with this year.
It was kind of hard to track down a lot of the movies I wanted to see this year. A lot of things didn't come out until very, very late. So
Yeah.
my list was constantly changing. I guess quick 2 honorable mentions. The Mastermind and Avatar: Fire and Ash, pretty nice little movies. But let's start with my number 10 of the year, which was Surat by Olivier Lax. This is by a French director. They filmed it in Morocco, and it's about a man in a semi nearby future. And he's in the Moroccan desert with his son, searching for his daughter, who they've lost contact with, who was last seen at one of these raves. So it follows them going rave to rave, trying to find her, and really quickly devolves and goes in some very unexpected ways. It's extremely
That sounds
tense.
really familiar.
It's a really interesting movie. I highly suggest that anyone watching that hasn't heard of this or is a little interested in it, I highly suggest seeking it out. Maybe some of the best sound work of the year. It's extremely tense. There are some moments that are just jaw dropping, very shocking. And shout out our lead actor in this movie, who is the fascist dad from Pan's Labyrinth, Sergei Lopez. So
Okay.
shout out Mr. Lopez, and shout out Surat, coming in at number 10. And at number 9, this is where I have Begonia, the newest Yorgos
Okay.
Lanthimos, which was just super fun. Real quick, I want to bring up, there is a tweet I saw a couple months ago that I think about every time I think about Begonia. It's about and this guy's talking about his little kid who is obsessed with the commercials for Begonia and won't stop bothering the dad about if it's okay for kids, and keeps requesting that they play games like Pretend Begonia is Chasing Us. So Begonia has to be in the top 10 just because imagine Begonia's Chasing Us is so funny to me. Bald Emma Stone is leaving a massive impression on this nation, especially this nation's children. This is just a really fun movie, start to finish. You really don't know where it's gonna go, and you're kind of appalled at what's happening, but you can't look away. It's extraordinarily compelling, like a nasty little car crash. Jesse Plemons is fucking phenomenal. He absolutely should have been nominated for this movie. At the same time, I don't know who you could take out to put him in. Timothée Chalamet. But I really thought he was so wonderful in this movie. He was my favorite part of it. But I just thought that this was one that kept me guessing for a lot of the runtime, and had an ending that had me just grinning ear to ear with how bizarre it was. So shout out Begonia. That is my number 9. My number 8 is Sinners. And what's really fun about Sinners is that it's kind of 2 movies. You have this first half of these 2 brothers coming back to their hometown and getting getting things set up for, to do away with their life of crime and open up a juke joint. Then you have the second half where a bunch of Draculas say, not so fast. So really, really fun Southern Gothic Dracula's movie. There's a lot of interesting stuff in here about music that I think they could have gone a little farther with. But just a really fun movie, maybe the most popular film last year, and it was just a complete cultural sensation. So if you haven't seen it, you kind of have to. Let's see, where am I? I am now at 7. This is where I had Marty Supreme. This is another extremely anxious film from the makers of Good Time and Uncut Gems. Well, excuse me, it's not by the makers. It's by one of the brothers of that duo. They split up and each directed a film this year, and Marty Supreme was the much better one. Marty is just this absolute little fucker that you kind of hate, and he gets himself into all sorts of crazy hijinks, and there's just so many wonderful moments in this movie that I continue to think about months later, even if I went in like a little perhaps biased against it. There is a lot of wonderful things to think about here, and so many wonderful character actors. Really a wonderful feat of casting this film. And then I have at number 6 a German film called Sound of Falling. This is about several different generations of German women who are all connected to this farmhouse, and it's just about the way their lives intersect, and it's very hard to explain, but it's quiet and it's thoughtful, and it's just very intimate and strange and creative, and I really was in love with it while I was watching it. It was a film I saw in theaters that, for one, it's absolutely gorgeous and so mystifyingly strange that I was locked the fuck in to the Sound of Falling. So shout out Masha Shalinsky, first time filmmaker. Shout out to the Sound of Falling. Great movie. All right. And then that would bring me to my number 5. So I'm going to hand it off to you to start out.
Okay. Honorable mention. This is not, I don't know, maybe it is in my top 10. I'm not sure. I just really enjoyed it. Was Good Boy, the horror film told from the perspective of a guy's dog. Did you end up watching that?
I didn't. I'm going to have to.
Have you heard about it?
Absolutely, I've heard about it.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to make sure. It was such a fun twist on how a horror movie is told. I was apprehensive to watch it because I swear to God, if anything happens to the dog, I'm out. It was good though. A lot of people thought that it was slow, that it wasn't scary, that it wasn't this, that, or the other. What you need to understand is this director did it with his dog, Indy, and was just trying to coach the poor dog through the whole movie without ever actually scaring him. So everyone else can get fucked because Indy was taking care of this whole movie, and this sweet boy I loved it. I had a great time. I thought it was good.
I do like a good animal-led movie. They can be fascinating.
Shout out Good Boy. My number 5 was One Battle. I told you it was in my top.
No, give us your rundown. Give us your rundown.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to say that we haven't already talked about. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I loved the pacing in this movie. My favorite part of the whole movie is when he's trying to escape through the martial arts studio. That whole sequence.
Great sequence.
10 out of 10.
One of the funniest, maybe the funniest part of the movie is when Sensei is yelling at a young boy to get off of his phone, and Bob thinks he's talking to him, and I'm not even on my phone. Just fucking ingenious and very natural humor.
It's so good, and it is so... It gives the vibe of a one-shot sequence. I had a great time. I did enjoy it. There is something about it that just didn't quite flip the switch for me. I can't put a finger on it.
Maybe someday on a rewatch it moves up. Who knows? Maybe it moves down. We'll talk about it.
And it's sat better with me the further I've gotten from it. So who knows? Maybe it is getting up there, but I got done with it the first time and I was like, yeah, that was good.
Fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
good.
That's fair.
You know, what is your number 5?
Okay, my number 5 is Wes Anderson's The Phoenician Scheme. Benicio del Toro on a little heater this year with Sensei in One Battle After Another, and being the lead in the latest Wes Anderson movie. Oh, is that the script?
This is the full screenplay for the Phoenician Scheme.
Fantastic. Yeah, I just thought that this movie was a complete treat. Just dense, strange, funny, all the things I want a Wes Anderson movie to be. This was just, it's a kind of movie that's catnip to the hosts of the Picture Show podcast. So that would be my number 5. Shout out.
Yeah.
I gotta stop
100%.
saying shout out.
Shout out.
That's a big one for me today. What's happening? Something's taken over my body.
Being possessed by the ghost of Oscars.
I was
past.
shouting out. All right, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Sinners. Very much enjoyed it. I don't know where I want to start with it. I loved the color scheme in it. I thought it was muted, but still had this like really passionate vibrance to it that was I thought was gorgeous. The music in it was phenomenal. I thought it was a fun premise. It did have some moments that I was raising an eyebrow at, but overall I thought it was very, very well done. I had a great time with it. Yeah, again, horror is really starting to kind of come back from the Conjuring series and shit that had tanked it.
Yeah, we're in a new era.
Which, thank fucking God. I mean, I feel like we're finally escaping like the Marvel days of horror and getting back into the
cinematic universe of it all. Annabelle
some kind
4.
Of original comment. God, I'm so over it. I'm so over all of that garbage. And I just, I'm finally starting to have some hope return.
Yeah, I hope it bodes well for things to come. My number 4 is It Was Just an Accident. This is a film by the Iranian director Jafar Panahi. It was this year's Palme d'Or winner, and it's a deceptively simple film. Like, this is something you could probably stage as a play. It's really, really fascinating, and it starts out with this family driving down the road, and they have some car troubles. They pull over at this shop. As the father in the car is walking around, you can hear his leg squeaking like he's got like a prosthetic leg or something. And he goes into this shop, and someone overhears him, and he says, "That leg sounds like the guy who tortured me and all these other people in prison for several years." So he captures this man under the suspicion of being the torturer, and he convenes several of his acquaintances who were also imprisoned and tortured, and they all get together and decide what to do. And it's just a really extraordinary, fascinating, thought-provoking film. It's dark, it's morally fraught. People aren't always doing the right thing. You never know from one second to the next what someone is going to say or do. It was just a really, really interesting experience, especially in the theater, because the sound work here with the leg and the various people talking over each other, really, really interesting work here. So I thought it was a really good choice for the Palme d'Or. Jafar Panahi is one of the world's great treasures, so I thought that this was just a great moment. I'm glad that people were taking notice of Jafar Panahi in this fantastic film this year. It Was Just an Accident. One of the standouts of the year for sure.
A lot of kidnapping happening in movies in 2025.
It's
a big theme.
It's what we like to do. We like a good kidnapping story, don't we, folks?
Or something.
Many people are saying. What's your number 3 here?
Number 3, no surprise, is Weapons. I mean, God, what an instant classic. Just some of the best imagery I've seen in any movie in a while. It's a unique premise. Like we were talking about, like, not a lot was given away beforehand. I mean, you had the Ring footage to go off of going into the movie, and that was just about it. Josh Brolin, maybe one of his best roles ever. Amy Madigan knocked it out of the park. Honestly, some of the most genuinely unsettling scenes that I've had out of horror movies in a while. The scene with the scissors coming up from the back seat, like,
Ugh.
it takes a lot for me to feel dread watching a horror movie anymore. I've been desensitized, as have many of us, but that scene made me want to throw up. Just like hearing the car door click and then the scissors just come into oh god, no thank you. But also, yes please, keep going. I had a great time with Weapons all around. Absolutely will watch it again.
Yeah, very definitely one of the most iconic horror movies of recent times. That shot of the kids running out into the dark is gonna be immortal.
Yeah.
Just really eerie, really fascinating stuff. All right, my number 3 is a Korean film by the master Park Chan-wook of Old Boy and
so bad. I've been trying to see this and no theaters near me were showing it.
That's a travesty. But we're talking, of course, about No Other Choice, the latest film by Park Chan-wook. This is just, if you've seen any film by him, you kind of know what you're getting into. It's an extraordinary, I keep saying the same damn words. It's just an
Me too. It's been a while. Folks, we are squeaky. We're trying to get back into this.
Squeaky.
We've had several failed recordings that have not seen the light of day.
Very disheartening.
For one reason or another, we're doing our best. This is just a chill yap session about some of the few good movies to come out of a shit year. So bear with us. They're all extraordinary.
Bear with us. Anyways, No Other Choice, Park Chan-wook. You just kind of know what you're getting into with Park Chan-wook if you've seen any of his movies. They're just these very detail-packed thrillers that are very twisty, turny. The editing in these films is just unbelievable. He comes up with these really exciting and creative scene transitions. And this movie is just maybe the best dark comedy I've seen in I don't know how many years. It's a film about a man who is fired from his sort of like mid-level management job at a paper company. And so he decides to start knocking off other mid-level manager paper company guys so that he has no workplace competition. And it's just it's a really funny film to see how he justifies what he's doing and how he descends on this path. And I think this might be, after one battle after another, this might be the most timely movie of the year, where it ultimately ends up with I don't want to give too much away for those who haven't seen it, but what it says kind of about AI and where the future of the workforce is heading, I think is really really sharp. It's a biting satire, if you will. I really loved No Other Choice, and if I had a best actor vote and I could put anyone on it, I think my number one choice for best actor this year would be Lee Byung-hun in this film, who just anchors a really insane film through so many different tones, and he is just completely excellent in every single film. He totally shoulders this thing. Really, really fun movie. Loved No Other Choice. Number 3 of the year.
I will say, for all of the shit that I am talking on movies from 2025, a lot of them had very poignant narratives on what is going on in the world. I had an interesting discussion with somebody the other day about looking historically at movie releases and what was going on in the world at that time and what then fueled movies after that. And I think that we'll look back on 2025 for that reason specifically, of how much it was saying about what we are dealing with right now. So for all the shit that I'm talking, I will say 2025 was good for that much, at least, of coming up with very quality narratives on just the fucking shit show around us. Anyway, my number 2.
I'm really excited. I have no idea what your number 1 and number 2 are going to be. Okay, no, yeah.
Yes,
I have a good idea
do.
I have a good idea what one of them is going to be, at least.
This is not going to be a surprise to anyone, least of all you. My number 2 is Frankenstein.
Okay.
To our lovely audience, you missed out, and I'll probably still insert a couple clips here. Oh my god, what do you mean?
This is
No,
probably the
it's
most we've
so
ever
good.
disagreed about a movie, but
Of Noah and I maybe being in our first real argument ever. No!
uh,
You quit while you're ahead! Because you're fucking wrong about this! This movie is so good! Okay.
like it
What do you
did not
mean?
come. It didn't come
What do
across.
you mean?
It didn't work for me. I was bored in the theater. I was bored.
I
Is that
think you're
bad?
a psychopath! Over Frankenstein because it was good and he was wrong. Um,
Whatever. Oh, get on with it.
so Frankenstein is Guillermo del Toro's newest release, classic retelling. However, it I will say is probably the most well done retelling of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I myself have not read the book. However, from everything that I have seen, it is the closest adaptation of the written story that has come out yet. There is a lot of focus specifically on Victor Frankenstein being the monster himself, less so stressing on his creation. Makeup is beautiful, costumes are wonderful. Jacob Elordi's performance is incredible. Oscar Isaac knocked it out of the park. I mean, Mia Goth, love her. Christoph Waltz. I mean, it just all of the pieces worked so harmoniously for this movie, and really my only note is that Netflix got its grubby little mitts on it and just put that nasty, ugly Netflix sheen on it, and it does take away from it a little bit. Not enough, though, to destroy all of the incredible work that went into it. It was beautiful. So take that!
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you with my car.
I didn't say anything. All right, my number two is The Secret Agent by Kleber Mendoza Filho. I don't know how to speak Brazilian. But this is just a really, really wonderful movie. We talked a little bit about Wagner Moura and just how exceptional he is in this, but it's a strange movie. The name kind of is gonna make you think that you're getting into a certain kind of movie, and the film really subverts that expectation. It's really playing with you. It's a movie about the dictatorship in Brazil in the 1970s, and it's about a former academic who's being targeted with political violence. So he's basically undercover with his son. So he's forced into, you know, what in an American movie would be a sort of glamorous, you know, espionage type of situation, but it's a much more grounded film. It opens up with this almost a short film of him rolling into the town for the first time and getting to this rundown gas station. And we don't really know what he's on the run from yet. We don't know anything, but this opening is just this tiny masterwork of suspense. And the film really opens up in strange ways from there. There's a small streak of surrealism here. There it draws on urban legend, and it's just a really fascinating, loose movie. This is not a tight thriller at all. This is a very sprawling, meandering film, and I just got completely lost up in it. The sense of place is incredible, and I appreciated pretty much everything about this movie. So The Secret Agent is my number two for sure.
That's a fair pick. That's absolutely a fair pick.
Great
I'm not
movie.
mad at that. All right, my number one, which also will not be a surprise to you whatsoever, is The Phoenician Scheme.
Let's go. Okay.
And I think I knew. I was trying to be optimistic that there's more to hold out for in the year of 2025. I knew pretty immediately watching it that holy shit, this is my favorite thing that's come out and probably will come out this year. God, what a fun time. If you have not seen our episode on the Phoenician Scheme, please, please, please go back and watch it. It is such a good time. Wes Anderson does not ever disappoint. I think that he knows at this point he'll get me with a good screenplay. And he has yet to disappoint me with his screenplays. To the point where, yes, I went out and bought the one for this movie. There are so many lines that I know that I missed because, especially with his newer stuff, you really have to pay attention. Otherwise, you will miss. It is so
like this
quippy.
podcast, there's a lot of talking over each other. That's mostly my bad.
Oh no, I'm guilty of it too. But that's why it's fun. The Phoenician Scheme is just like it's chock full. Like it is as full as you could make a movie. It never stops, does not let up for a second, and it's so fun at every single fucking turn. It just is a joy.
Absolutely agreed. He's at this stage where his work has reached a new level of intricacy where I can see how some people get tired out by it, but I just I'm so in the bag for it.
I think here's the thing, is that with a lot of directors who have a unique style, they follow their own framework for each film, which is fine if it's done well. And Wes Anderson does it well. Yes, you're going to get similar formulas with his movies, but he does each of them so differently that it is a brand new and fresh experience every time. So, you take Asteroid City and put it next to the Phoenician Scheme. Similar structure, right? Like, you're gonna get the same formula out of it. Two completely different experiences, two completely different movies.
Absolutely.
And both are a wild, fun, crazy time. It's a blast. He does it well. He can follow his formula because he does something new with it every time. No notes.
I've really loved watching the style change and grow over the years, and I love where he's at right now. Loved the Phoenician Scheme. All right, my turn. So we've just talked about the newest Wes Anderson film, and my number one is by his brother, Paul Thomas Anderson. They're not actually brothers, but my number one is Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. I think this is a new classic from the man. I do partially appreciate his films as part of a whole. I'm such a fan of the director, so I'm appreciating One Battle as I'm watching it as a film that's in a lineage with Licorice Pizza and Inherent Vice and There Will Be Blood and Punch Drunk Love and Boogie Nights. I'm appreciating where an artist who I've loved for so long has gone, similar to how we were looking at the Phoenician Scheme. It's just fun to watch a treasured artist do different things, and I just thought that this was a weird swing for him. It's a really big movie. It's very contemporary, and he just has this unique take on any story he gets his hands on that's just really, really interesting to see. I think the way he works with actors is perhaps unparalleled by any director, currently working. I think that there's just such a fullness of character, even in the very smallest of roles. Everyone is so believable. I think he is just such a way with actors, and that's my favorite thing to watch when I'm watching a movie is seeing actors make bold, strange choices that work, and this movie is just an amalgamation of bold, strange choices, and I was just very taken with it, and it's a movie I've watched a few times now, and that I find different things to appreciate, and I think that this is just a new classic that is gonna keep giving for years and years and years, and I was just extraordinarily happy that we've been crowning directors this decade with Oppenheimer and Christopher Nolan, and I'm happy that a director who I think is, I like Christopher Nolan, but I think Paul Thomas is in a different stratosphere, and I'm so happy that this body of work has finally been recognized. I think this was a phenomenal film for him to receive that recognition for, and I just love this movie. I love every performance. I love every moment. It's so bizarre and delightful. Yeah, I just can't get enough of it. Small detail that I learned briefly after my first watch. The house where the underground bunker that the Christmas adventurers meet up in, the house is Ronald Reagan's house. Was actually Ronald Reagan's house. So that's really funny. Love that. And the movie is just filled with weird little things like that. So it's something I'm going to return to for years and years, and I'm happy to have it. One of the best movies of the decade. What an interesting 2025.
I want to just very briefly touch on a couple of things that you were saying.
Yeah.
That, like, the thing about Paul Thomas Anderson is that, like, what is unique about him is that everything he does is so different from each other.
It's something that only he could have and would have done with it. Also, this movie has some of the greatest names of people and places in recent years. Perfidia, Beverly Hills, one of the all-time great character names. Ghetto Pat, the Rocket Man, Bob Ferguson. That's fantastic. Captain Stephen J. Lockhart, very memorable. And I gotta shout out, my last shout out of the episode, shout out the Sisters of the Brave Beaver Convent.
Love.
Just phenomenal stuff.
Love.
Just phenomenal stuff from Paul Thomas Anderson there. Yeah, I think this is a masterpiece. I really do.
I think at the very least it's a good year to celebrate directors. I mean, looking at both of our number ones, and I know we talked about this briefly before, you can tell when actors love working with a director. Easy. And both of the number ones are a great example of that. How many people do you see in the Phoenician Scheme that you see in other Wes Anderson movies? You can tell that people love working with him. How many names do you see in One Battle that, like, you can tell that they're there because this is somebody that they want to work with. This is somebody that, like, cares about what they're doing and will give them the same return on investment that they're putting out. And it just, like, I think that it's out of all the shit that's going on in movies in 2025, I think that it's a good year to recognize good directors.
Absolutely. That's an interesting point that you bring up with those two directors reusing actors a lot. You can just tell that there's a great level of professionalism and respect for the artistry, and it reminds me of how Stanley Kubrick had a lot of loyal crew members and people that would sacrifice a lot of time and a lot of other projects to work with an artist they believed in. And this was a great year for two of our current best artists to believe in, the Anderson brothers.
As they shall forever be known.
Absolutely. I hope every time Paul Thomas Anderson releases a movie from now on, Wes Anderson also releases.
What a great parallel to get.
Wes Anderson's been a little more consistent with the output recently. Paul Thomas Anderson, you just kind of gotta hope you're gonna see him in like 4 years. Let's see, so this was 2025. Licorice Pizza was 2021. Did you ever see Licorice Pizza?
I saw parts of it.
Good movie. Before that, it was 2017 was Phantom Thread.
I feel like he's one of those directors where it's like every time you start to wonder if he's okay, he announces something.
Oh, yeah, and it feels like there's something worth living for again. Yeah. I've followed the productions of his movies for since Phantom Thread. I remember Phantom Thread being the first one I heard about beginning production and looking forward to. So I can't wait to hear about the next one. Phantom Thread might be his best movie. I love me some Phantom Thread. Phantom Thread and There Will Be Blood. You gotta catch me on a certain day to have me answer a certain one, but Phantom Thread is, he's him. Phantom Thread is him. That's why they call him Reynolds Phantom Thread Woodcock in the movie. That's what they call him. It plays over the soundtrack like Black Dynamite. Phantom Thread.
That was it a few months ago. I don't know if I ever told you this. My sister came to visit, and I made her watch Black Dynamite.
Okay, and she loved it. She thought it was the best thing ever.
The entire time she is staring at me from the other side of the couch, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Comedy
like,
gold.
Comedy? What do you mean? Watch
exactly
the fucking
right.
movie.
Some people just don't get it.
Some
and
people
I don't
get
understand
it.
I don't
I think she was a little concerned about me, based on the complexion of my skin.
Hey, You know, it's pale shut-in summer, baby.
For me, it's all the time.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, on that note, what have you seen so far this year, and what are you looking forward to?
Oh, that's a good question. From the year so far, I've only actually been to see one movie that came out this year, and that was Project Hail Mary, which I thought was okay. A little cutesy for me. A little, I don't know.
I've heard
Didn't
mixed
love it.
things on it.
I do think that Rocky is a genuine feat of puppetry. I think that's one of the great movie effects of recent years. Love that little guy. The movie, fine. Like a soft 7 out of 10 if I'm feeling generous. But worth seeing in a theater. Decent. I do really want to go see the drama. I think that looks
also
fascinating.
want to see that. I think that looks like... At first, I was not convinced. When the first trailer came out, I was like, are we sure about this one, guys? But the more I see on it, the more I'm convinced that I think it could be good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the third Dune movie later this year. I think that's going to be fun. You know, we're at the part of the year where I'm not honestly too certain what all is coming out, and I'm mostly playing like catch up with years past and things I haven't seen before. Usually the Cannes Film Festival is when I really start looking forward to the year and start making note of things. I think there's a chance that the movie Martin Scorsese is shooting right now might come out later this year. You know, here's hoping. But there's not a crazy amount I can think of right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling through releases.
There is actually going to be a Tom Cruise movie this year by the guy that made Birdman and The Revenant called Digger, where he plays like a septuagenarian CEO who has to like fix a big fuck up or something. I'm not entirely certain. I'm very fuzzy on these details, but I'm excited to see Cruise do some sicko mode real acting. Shout out Tom Cruise. Shout out Tommy C.
You said you were done with shout-outs.
And then Tom Cruise came up. So what am I supposed to do? Some things. Have you? Okay, actually, I'll get to that in a minute. Is there anything you are looking forward to for this year?
Not specifically Dune. I do want to see the drama. One that I don't necessarily think is going to be good. I'm setting the bar on the floor for this one. Let's just be very clear. I'm interested in it from a internet, archives perspective. Is a horror movie called The Backrooms.
Ooh, I'm gonna go see this because listen, this kid he's made his first movie at like 20 years old or whatever, and you've got Chiwetel Ejiofor who starred in 12 Years a Slave, and you have Renata Reinsva who was just in Sentimental Value and The Worst Person in the World. I have to what a cast.
I'm kind of stoked about it. I have very low expectations.
Is that this month or next month that comes out? That comes out soon.
I think it's next month, but I could be wrong. I usually am. I am pretty excited about that one, though. I think it'll be
I forgot about that, yeah.
I don't know how deep into the Reddit Backrooms lore you are, but
not very.
I have a blast with that creepy shit. It's fun. So I am excited for that one. Let's see. Iron Lung was so good.
Fun.
So good. For anybody who is unfamiliar with Iron Lung, it is Markiplier's first film. It is a psychological horror based on a video game of the same name. It is so well done. I love him. Don't get me wrong. My hopes were high. My expectations were not so high. I thought he knocked it out of the park. A lot of people thought it was slow. I think those people don't understand what psychological horror is. I thought it was composed well. I thought the screenplay was brilliant. He did it on a budget of $3 million. Came out of the box office with over $45 million. I just don't understand how you couldn't be thrilled about all of that. I thought it was phenomenal. So very pleasantly surprised. That is the only movie that I have seen in theaters this year. I don't know that there's anything else that I'm really itching to go see.
It's in that weird part of the year. That's why it's catch-up time. I was thinking about the new Tom Cruise movie because I recently watched a movie for the first time. Stanley Kubrick's final film, Eyes Wide Shut, starring the, at the time, doomed marriage of Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. And what a fascinating movie. There's certainly things that happen.
Fascinating, like a science experiment.
Yeah, I was very, very fascinated watching this film, and really excellent stuff. Really excellent stuff. I just picked up the 4K at the recent Criterion sale, and I had never seen this. Love Kubrick, so I thought, why not give his final movie a go? Never saw it, and now I feel a little more complete. Tom Cruise is really good in this movie.
You feel well-rounded now?
I feel like I had...
He's a complete person.
I had only one thing missing from, the vast libraries of knowledge, and finally the collection's complete. Feels good.
And now you can retire. That's it, folks. The podcast is done. We don't need to go any farther.
But yeah, one last shout out. Stan Cube. Mr. Stanley Kubrick.
Oh my god. Is there anything else that we've missed?
Not really. That's a wrap on 2025. 2026 can finally begin.
Or be over at this point, for all I fucking care, but...
Honestly, yeah. Nothing's going well.
No.
Well, hopefully... the next time we have an episode for you, there will still be an America. All right. Free Palestine and watch a movie.
On that joyful and hopeful note, don't forget to watch a good movie, tell your friends about it, let us know what you're looking forward to seeing in 2026 down in the comments. Let us know what your favorite of 2025 was. Did we miss anything? Were we off the mark?
Let us know.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye!